mainly because that's the only jurisdiction they have. But the interesting thing was that the state Supreme Court went ahead and gave or automatically assigned the force of law to this particular apology from 1993 apology. And by doing so, they sort of elevated what was a resolution which the United States had probably not intended to be as powerful as the Hawaii State Supreme Court said. So this is why the controversy has arisen. And I'd like to add that what the implications of this, because of the way that the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court elevated this law, the implications is that this resolution or the validity of this resolution as having the force of law could also affect other states. In fact, 29 other states have applied or have submitted Friends of the Court briefs on behalf of the state of Hawaii, on the side of the state of Hawaii. So this means that other states recognize the fact that if this decision by the state Supreme Court were to be upheld, then it would really affect all these 29 other states, at least those 29 other states that may have some, it would affect their native lands as well. So I think it's really opened up a can of worms.
Mm-hmm. Tom Anthony, can you describe legally the ramifications of this resolution in Hawaii, state of Hawaii, in its effort to strike down exactly the apology law?
Well, in 1898, the United States negotiated with the Republic of Hawaii what they titled the Newlands Resolution, or the Senate Joint Resolution to annex Hawaii. It purports to be a treaty annexing annexing the Republic of Hawaii to the United States as a territory. We have questioned at least for the last 115 years whether or not that particular resolution had the effect of law, that it could accomplish the task that it presumes to effect. But so if this particular resolution does not carry the apology resolution, if it doesn't carry the effect of law enforceable by the United States against the rest of the world, then there are questions that come about that rise about the 1898 Newlands Resolution. It purports to have an extraterritorial effect beyond the borders of the United States into another country. So I don't believe that this question is unique to Hawaii. This whether a resolution of this type can have the effect it does. There are all kinds of presumptions also on the part of the lower court, the state of Hawaii Supreme Court, as to what conditions give rise to a court looking at this resolution and saying the things that the state Supreme Court said. I hope I'm being clear here.
Yes, and also I know that there are 2 points. One, of course, ignoring the fact that the lands claimed by the state is actually stolen property, and somehow remove the cloud of the state's claim to these lands, which Leoncio writes in his article here. But the failure to convince the U.S. Supreme Court, by the way, which it's going to, is counting on that favorable ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court. The state of Hawaii is counting on the favorable ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court, but the stake is a very survival of the 50th state of the Union, namely Hawaii. And I'd like to also put more into the picture by saying that the UN Declaration of Indigenous Rights would ultimately affect the native Hawaiian status there, and then there's the right to be sovereign. Is this probably why they're not signing this Declaration of Indigenous Rights? Is because they know that the treaties that they have with Native Americans and Native Hawaiians would have to be enacted finally.
Well, the Declaration of Indigenous Peoples' Rights, which took, almost over a decade to negotiate, we believe that declaration marginalizes us. So we don't accept it either as a basis to settle the problem we have here in Hawaii. The declaration separates us from the protections that we would normally receive if international law were applied to us without the declaration being in place. We don't see our rights defined by that declaration. So when we approach this problem, we're not approaching it as an indigenous people. We are approaching this as a people of an independent, peaceful state known as the Hawaiian Kingdom. Our rights are defined differently. Our tribal rights we've set aside, and we've constitutionalized them, in a sense. When we talk about indigenous people, the schematic established by the Constitution of the Hawaiian Kingdom protects the rights of the indigenous people of Hawaii better than the declaration, the UN Declaration on Indigenous Peoples' Rights does. And I would ask people to look at the Hawaiian schematic for the protection of indigenous peoples' rights and compare it to the declaration, and see that we are way far ahead in terms of protecting the rights of indigenous people. The rights of our indigenous people are protected by our constitutions, by our statutes, by our treaties. So, this is just the state of Hawaii, and particularly the democratic power elite in the state of Hawaii, have been feasting on the trough of Hawaiian assets for a long time. They've grown so accustomed to this that they think it's theirs now. But they're not. They're not even close to that. I mean, the reference to stolen lands is just, it's deceptive. Mm-hmm. There is no stolen lands.
We are speaking with two Aupuni Hawaiians from Hawaii, and it's very early in the morning there, and I'd like to thank you also for being here. Tom Anthony, Attorney General of the Kingdom of Hawaii, and Leon Siu, Foreign Minister. You can refer to their website to get more information, kingdomofhawaii.org. And also, there is in the Nation published this past April, I believe, earlier this year, The Famous Are the Flowers, Hawaiian Resistance Then and Now. And Leon Siu, I want to refer to the struggle that's just in the law, struggling within the law. Is that more prevalent now because of the many, the websites, the web structure around the world, but more information getting out there? It seemed like to me it would isolate more of the reality of the native or the indigenous Hawaiians or the tribal Hawaiians there who would rather live in the land and not be recognized by the United States. And I believe that's where you're coming from.
Yes, yes, that's correct. The recognition by the United States of Native Hawaiians is really a scheme by the United States to try to codify or complete their takeover of our lands. In other words, if they can relegate us, as Tom was alluding to, if they can relegate us to native status, then it keeps it as an internal problem rather than the international problem that it really is. So what we're doing is we're pressing our issue as a nation, as a national people, as Hawaiian nationals, not as Hawaiian natives. And by doing so, we actually are invoking international law. And so the word getting out to the international community has been very helpful. I've been having many discussions with foreign countries, explaining our situation as have other people. And articles such as was in The Nation and other Indian Country and others are very helpful to us because it helps to inform people around the world about our situation.
Mm-hmm. Well,
to clarify it.
Leoncio and Tom Anthony, that's all the time we have here on First Voices Indigenous Radio. Time flies. I'd like to again refer to kingdomofhawaii.org for more information. Leoncio was foreign minister of the Hawaiian Kingdom of National Hawaiians. I'm saying that right, Hawaiian Kingdom Nationals. And also Tom Anthony, Attorney General of the Kingdom of Hawaii. Thank you very much for joining us